tell you, I'll be up in there. Never be a dog day at work. Man, but every now and then, man, all we need to know is there is possibly a better day than the one we're in. Now, one thing that I'm going to jump into today, I'm seeing a pattern here. We have people who are highly successful that continue to read, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to study technology. But it seems like the people who run into the hardest time feel like they already know everything. That's a challenge, and it started last week, and I agree. The things that I said, it probably needed a little more clarity. I was speaking of myself, and I felt like depression was the highest form of selfishness. That's how I felt, because I was in a very depressed state, and I was trying to find a way to get out. People compliments didn't do me any good because I didn't feel good about myself. Things that were good to somebody else really wasn't making me happy because I felt like more was out there. And everything was about, why is this happening to me? Knowing it's happening to a lot of other people who are going on with their life. Why am I in the situation I'm in? But people who are in the same situation having fun with their friends and laughing and talking and enjoying themselves. So my way out of my depressed state was I had to get out of myself. I had to stop thinking about me so much. And the way I started doing is when I started doing things to help other people. I started serving other people, and I saw I could add some value to the world, and it made me feel better about myself. So that was my statement, and I feel like personally it was unfair for me to make that statement without some explanation around it. Now, it was my way out. It is possible. If people could find a way to not think about themselves so much, they may find a little more joy. But I do understand that there are some chemical imbalances. There's some clinical depression. There's some football players, CTE. There are some other things that are really bad out there, and just learning how to be unselfish may not be enough. They may need medicine. They may need deeper therapy. There are all kinds of things that are needed, but the thing we cannot do, if we're in a situation that we don't want to be in, we cannot tell ourselves there are no answers. We cannot tell ourselves, I've tried everything, that doesn't work. Okay? Because the minute you tell yourself that, you start believing. Something Thomas Edison said that I thought was so powerful. We know Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors it ever was. Thomas Edison said, there is a better way. Just go find it. That was his mindset, that he kept telling himself, there is a better way than walking around with a lamp that on a candle that blow out when the wind blows. It's possible that a light bulb is available. It's possible that a telephone is available. And the challenge is, when something is in your heart, you cannot even lean on the person you're closest to help you with it. When God is about to bring something into the world, most people are not even going to understand it. I want to lean on Henry Ford, who built the automobile. They said, what made you come up with that? Did you start asking people what they needed? He said, I couldn't ask people what they needed, because in that time, if I would have asked them what they really needed, they would have said they needed a faster horse.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what they would have said. But he said, no, there's something better than a horse. How about something with multiple horsepower that rolls on wheels, that all you have to do is put gas in it and it can get you there quicker? And it revolutionized transportation. We talk about the Wright brothers. They was out there, had an idea of how to fly. Can you imagine in that time, somebody coming up to me, hey man, I believe we can fly. R. Kelly hadn't released the song yet, so the inspiration wasn't there. But when you have something inside of you that you want to get out of you, if you're not careful, it will frustrate you. It will frustrate. When you know something better is out there and you can't find it, other people are comfortable in it. What are you talking about? All these horses around here, Henry Ford, what are you talking about? He's like, no, it's something else out there that does not exist that I believe that I can do. All of us has visited that level of inspiration from time to time. All of us have had an idea of a life that we could live, or a thing we can do, or a job that we could have. We had an idea of it. But the Bible is clear what happens to the most of us. He was talking about the seeds that were sown. Some got burnt out by the sun, all of that. But there was one particular one, he talked about the seed. He said the weeds grew and choked the fruit out. Weed is things, not that kind of weed. Somebody was like, weed is unauthorized growth. Unintentional things planted. You have the intentional fruit that's coming. You have the unintentional weed that is planted. I'm going to tell you something that's going to change how you think. I believe that what faith really is suggestion followed by repetition. I believe faith is suggestion followed by repetition. Well, what's the biblical basis of that? How can one believe unless they hear? How can they hear unless someone was sent? How can you believe a word that you have not heard? But he said a wise man builds his house on solid ground, right? But here's the deal. He said, I'm talking about the type of wise man, hear what I'm saying, that hears this word and put it into what? Practice.
Yeah.
What is practice? Practice is repetition. Repetition shapes or changes any condition. If suggestion and repetition become the basis of what you believe, you can hear a negative suggestion repeated in your head and create negative faith. Somebody can say something to you, not even intended for it to stick, but that's what weeds are. Weeds are planted, and then they grow and choke the fruit out of your dream. Nobody in our city has ever done that. You're not smart enough to do that. You haven't been to school. What make you think you can do that? And then they go on about their business, and then you repeat it.
Yeah.
What made me think I can do this? Suggestion followed by repetition is what you start to believe in. That's why people will tell you, whatever you want to do, get around people that are passionate about it, or people that have done it, because their suggestions are going to be different than the people who've never done anything.
That's right.
The suggestions of people who believe will make you start believing. You'll talk to them, and next thing you know, you'll be feeling like, man, I can do anything,
Right.
because they suggested what they believe, and it ends up becoming what you are trying to wrap your mind around. Be careful of unintentional suggestions. Where do they show up at? 1 o'clock in the morning. You flipping through the TV station. Here they come. Buy this. And you will lose 150 pounds in a week. Then you try it and don't get the results and give up on yourself. Because the real answer is, here's what you do. Start off drinking more water.
Yeah, see?
Take small walks around the block. Pass by the red sign at Krispy Kreme.
Hot light?
Yeah. But the real answers take time. You hear what I'm saying? Whatever situation you're in your life, a real answer of how to fix it takes time. You gotta understand that. But Jesus got out the boat and suddenly. Really? You ain't paying attention to the man that was at the pool for 38 years. You ain't paying attention to all the other stuff that happened. Yes, he can do an and suddenly. But until then, I'm going to work the principles. I'm going to work the steps. And if he wants to fast forward my time, he's going to find my hands to the plow, not looking back, because I'm going to get these results one way or another. Right? So we are never in and see, this is going to mess up your religion now. I'm going to tell you. We are never in the doing business. We are in the practicing business. That's not biblical. The great wise Solomon said, plant your seeds in the morning, and at the evening do not let your hands be idle, because you'll never know what will work, this or that or both. What does that sound like? Keep trying stuff. You don't know what's going to work. Anything that you do well, you had to learn to do it. And you failed a lot at it. When you learn how to walk, you didn't jump out your mom and be like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Go ahead. You had something. Oh, you did. You jumped out and was like, I'm here. What, Miss Margaret? I need proof. I need proof. Just thinking about the talking process, the reading process, the learning how to pick the right clothes process. I'm still trying. A lot of us ain't got that. But everything that you do well, that you have confidence in, took repetition. It took practice. So what make you think you get a new idea in your head is going to work the first time? You got to go into it saying, I'm probably going to fail a few times before I do any of this. Matter of fact, it's a doctor sitting right here, and he'll probably test. After all those years in school, and all the crying and studying and trying and hard, he didn't get his degree and be a certified doctor and all of a sudden knew everything. He had to go practice. Matter of fact, he had to go practice among the people that knew before he could even be free to practice on his own. That's how this thing works. And I don't think we value failure enough. Failure is your best teacher. If you're not careful, you will surround yourself with things that are unimportant, and you be so inundated with the unimportant that you don't have the faith to do the important. That's why I tell anybody, if you can, some of us it's too late, we got to work on it. Don't get a lot of debt.
That's right.
You ain't going to be able to try nothing with all this debt, because you're going to be like, oh man, I got this due. Hey, you got a light bill due. Work it out. Work it out. Work it out. How can we go get in debt and tell God to work it out? God be like, look, nah. Y'all need to quit playing. We can understand that about responsibilities, right? Can you afford to allow yourself to get bogged down with other people's problems? Think about that for a minute. You only have a certain amount of energy in a day. Do you want to give it to somebody who's facing the same problems over and over and over again and wearing you out? If we spend too much time on other people's stuff, we don't have enough time for our own stuff. And we got to be selective. Especially when we got people, you giving it's a good answer. You felt it in your shundo when you gave them a good answer. You felt it. You was like, thank you, Holy Ghost, and you told them.